It's Tuesday, it's League of Legends, it's Stony Brook, and it's all on the SBU Esports page. My name is Kevin Broderick, joined by Dylan over here to my right. Dylan, we got to think about it. We got to think about the fact that Stony Brook is still undefeated in their conference. They have not lost a single game yet this year. I don't think a single game has gone above 30 minutes in time on top of that. So, given all of this, what do you think the chances are that Stony Brook drops a game today?
I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I think they could put up a good fight, but I don't think Stony Brook's dropping a game today.
You don't think so?
No, I think it's gonna be a clean 2-0. I think the only thing holding back Stony Brook will be Stony Brook for today.
Listen, it's up against DePaul University, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't disagree with your analysis so far because DePaul is 2-4 so far on the season, and when you look at some of the teams that they've lost to, they were also teams that Stony Brook stomped. It's kind of a repetitive narrative at this point, and I know that's kind of hard to say because when you have a team that's just as dominant as Stony Brook is, you're kind of waiting for someone to give them a little push, to give them a little challenge, and make a game a little bit interesting. Obviously not saying that any fans of the Seawolves would want to see them lose, but at the same time, the only way you get better is by people challenging you. Now, there is one saving grace for them, and I know it's a little premature to talk about it, but RIT, another team in Stony Brook's conference, is also undefeated so far. So that is probably the match in which I would say they would get tested. But at hand right now, what are you expecting out of this series? Do you think it's another back-to-back 20-minute games? And then more specifically talking about something that you can do a little bit more breakdown on, who are you looking forward to watching in this game?
All right, we'll start off by talking about, as mentioned before, Stony Brook's been looking really aggressive, really strong, coming right out the gate. They don't hold back, no mercy for their opponents. So what I'm excited to see is I want to see what Step Aside can do in this game.
Yeah.
He's really coming out of his shell these past few games, playing super aggressive, playing the Kaisa, drawing those Kaisa bans game 2 basically every series. Just they're not ready, and a well-piloted Kaisa can take over a game on his own. So I'm excited to see what he can cook up this series.
Yeah, I think Step Aside has been my go-to to watch throughout every single series. Not the only top-performing Kaisa coming out of North America as of recently, I gotta say. So maybe a little inspiration from the 80 carry from FlyQuest, of course, if you were watching Worlds. I was heartbroken. I'm sure you were heartbroken.
I tuned in late. I tuned in game 3. I was excited. I've never felt more patriotic than in that moment.
100%.
Seeing FlyQuest almost go the distance against one of the toughest teams in the world.
Yeah,
if not the toughest.
A historically good
Historically
team.
strong.
I mean, that like when you talk about context of how good they were, I mean, FlyQuest was right there. I know this isn't collegiate esports we're talking about right now, but it feels important enough. Christopher Yang, who is another member of the broadcasting team, me and him were texting back and forth during that game. And after game 5, we exchanged 2 words. I said pain, and he responded with pain because I was in a lot of pain after they lost that. I'm a big sports guy, obviously, do WSB for Stony Brook as well. Yeah. I'm more than emotionally invested in a lot of other teams. I have never been sadder. Watching one of my teams lose a game like that. But anyways, back to the Seawolves and back to what we should be talking about. Step Aside, like we were saying, has been just A-class, S-tier, whatever you want to call it, 80 carry for the Seawolves. But you got to mention, a lot of that is because of Keatong. Because of his support is damn good at the game.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like having a veteran, someone who's been through the Tier 2 gauntlet, who understands what it takes to play competitive on the biggest stages in North America. To have him frequent Stony Brook, it's a pleasure to have him, just to be able to guide him through lane and just inspire that confidence that he needs to take over the game, because we've seen him take over the game. And if he can just keep doing that, I think Stony Brook's in great hands.
You know, it's one of those things where you talk about, obviously, since the rank reset, the Seawolves haven't gotten to the ranks that they were beforehand, because obviously in collegiate esports, you're not grinding solo queue as much as you would if you were just trying to get picked up by a Tier 2 team, you know, your TL Academy, your C9 Academy, stuff like that, because they are scrimming a lot of the time in order to stay in a competitive form.
Totally.
And because of that, Keatong and the rest of his teammates haven't gotten to the peaks that they were at previously before the rank reset. That being said, Keatong is still in Master, which is just showing when he actually starts playing, and I know you've told me this all the time, He's a 1K plus LP Challenger support player.
Definitely.
So, I mean, just having that, it's your secret weapon.
I don't think it's that much of a secret weapon
No,
anymore. I
it's
think
not,
it's a
because everyone
yeah,
can
everyone
see it.
yeah.
Everyone knows it. Everyone knows when they come into this game, they're playing up against Keetong and Step Aside. They know they're playing up against the best bot lane in all of Playfly.
Yeah, I mean, Stony Brook's just been looking absolutely dominant, and that's not to say that the top side of the map, we have Val, especially Tempest, his transitioning between both the top lane and the mid lane this season, being able to dominate
Yeah.
lane and both being able to play tanks, being able to play mages, being able to play 80 carries. I mean, what can this man not do?
And you're forgetting a big one. Aeroliner's playing Aatrox.
True.
I mean, there was 2 weeks ago, because last week was a forfeit.
Yeah.
There was no game, there was no broadcast. So if you thought you missed it, you didn't. Aeroliner's got something like 4 solo kills on Aatrox in one game. And I think one of those came in an isolation 1-on-3.
Yeah.
So he got a little bit fed, and he got a little bit far ahead, and he steamrolled the game. And again, he doesn't really get a lot of jungle proximity. I mean, of course, when you have a bot side, that's going to take away from your top side, but it doesn't seem to impact him. He just plays on an island, and he plays, I mean, I won't say perfectly. There's times in which he, gets a little bit over-aggressive, but more often than not, he's getting solo kills 80% to 20%.
And he's able to convert that even in like a 1v2 situation. We've seen that the jungle likes to draw their attention to him. He's always shoving in with the Aatrox pick, but he's just able to outplay it or distract the jungler just long enough for an incredible play to be happening bot lane dives up the wazoo. I mean, with the Nautilus, the Poppy picks, you just have all the setup in the world for your jungler.
Yeah. And talking about Enit, who is the jungler for the Seawolves, I wouldn't call him the weak link, because I don't think there is a weak link on this team.
The weak link's made of titanium. I mean,
it's kind of hard because, there's been performances in which he's had a lot of depth, but that's also because he's trying to be a facilitator.
Yeah, and he plays these utility junglers. I mean, in the past, we've seen him on Viego. I mean, we've seen him on just any type of early playmaking, just being able to snowball his teammates. I mean, once you have 1 or 2 winning lanes, I mean, what happens to you is really less important if you're dying at the right times for the right reasons. I wouldn't look at the deaths and say, hey, this guy's a weak player.
No, and that's what I was trying to get at is when you see his deaths getting a little bit higher, you got to go back and see the context for all of those. Because if he is dying as like the primary form of engage, whether it be on a champion like the J4, champion like the Nocturne, he is going to be very far ahead of the rest of his team. And if they're, in times where they're ahead and they're communicating perfectly, he won't die. But if the communication is a little bit off, then you can see the jungler in a little bit too far forward, still getting off a good engage, but dying as a result.
And let's just say, like, playing these Jarvans, these Nocturnes, these low gold positions, once you have, like, your 1 and 2 items come online, you get one nice ult, you get one good team fight, and it doesn't matter if you die because your team's picking up 4 kills. And we've seen that multiple times around Dragon fights, especially around the Baron Pit, speaking of 2 weeks ago. Just an incredible collapse on the enemy team. They thought it was over. They thought they could do the Baron, but they couldn't, and they just got cleaned up. Stony Brook's janitors.
Yeah. And then speaking of the man in the mid lane, number Tempest, Mr. Tempest, he has been playing a lot of mages, if I recall correctly. And you might think that, he's a mage player, he's the rock of this team. But no, he still gets solo kills anyways. He still plays as aggressively as he possibly can. And he tries to push his tempo in literally every way. And because of that, I want to see him play some Yone. Because this champion has been all over Worlds. I mean, he's been a must-pick, must-ban kind of champion. If you leave him up, blue side is taking him B1. So he's a blind flex pick. You can play him mid, you can play him top, but it's been primarily played mid. You know Tempest a little bit better than I do. You know the team more personally than I do.
Yeah.
Is Tempest the kind of Yone player? Can he play those melee champions mid lane?
Tempest could definitely pick up those champions. I mean, I've seen him play all sorts of things. I've seen him play Silas. I've seen him play LeBlanc. I've seen him play Orianna Syndra. Yone is definitely not off the radar, and we can flex that top lane as well. I mean, we've seen Aeroliners play Yone before. That's banned almost every series. So if the Yone is open, you can bet your butt that Stony Brook's grabbing it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that's a fair enough idea because it's been too good to leave through. If Stony Brook start off on the blue side, which I believe they are, I have more than an inclination that is going to be banned out. You do not want to give a team that is known for rolling over opponents a playmaker like Yone who can just essentially engage on a whim and flies, I don't know, Do you want to throw out 10,000 pixels, 50,000 pixels across your screen? I mean, you have the E dash forward, you have Q3, you have your ultimate, you have flash, so you have 4 dashes right there. And that's not fun to play against. And I don't like Yone. I will be completely transparent about that. I think he's a stupid champion. I think he should be removed, but I think you should remove Yumi first.
I wouldn't go that
No,
far. I think
no,
Yone's
we're going
good for
that
the
far.
game, but I don't know. I have a soft spot for Yone. I have a soft spot for the
No,
Bandaged
no,
Warrior. I
no.
mean, Fate Unsealed. I mean,
He's really cool, and the lore is really cool as we get into draft. And Ashe already banned out, so that is also we're talking about Worlds. We're talking about the meta that you see there. Ashe is also another must-pick, must-ban kind of champion.
and we see that immediately the Yone ban. I mean, that's if I'm red side and I'm leaving Yone open. I mean, you might as well just put the gun up to my head at the beginning of the series. The Viego ban, that's kind of expected. I mean, Viego is just a strong blind jungler overall. Doesn't really have many terrible matchups. The Lee Sin, again, another blind jungler.
Yeah, that's probably a little bit more of a target ban. It's not like Lee Sin is very prevalent right now in any part of the meta. It's not like you need 80 jungles for AP mid top kind of combination. I would have preferred to see them ban something like the J4. The Kais is a must ban.
Against step aside, I
Yeah.
mean, again, Stony Brook has so many power picks. The Aatrox locked in.
And there's that's one of those things where if you don't ban the Lee Sin, you can ban the Aatrox instead. Now that you can see that the Scion pick right away, that's probably going to go into the top lane. Maybe, oh, I stand corrected. Now you got to see where the Gwen's going.
Yeah, because the Gwen could be a top lane pick. It could be a jungle pick.
It could be a jungle flex.
It could be a mid lane pick. I mean, we locked in the Aurora, which is what I was expecting when I saw the Syndra ban. Aurora is a champion who doesn't really like fighting against these burst-heavy control mages early on. Galio, this is looking like a heavy frontline team so far.
So production was just in our ears letting us know that Tempest put up a 2-0 on his phone, kind of showing a little bit of the flair that this Seawolves team has. I don't blame him. I don't blame him for having that confidence. You hope that doesn't bite him back, though. Leona banned out, Nami, Vi, so getting a little bit of pinches on the supports. I don't think it matters for Keetong. Safe pick in the Ezreal, obviously trying to shut down the aggression that can come out of Step Aside and Keetong. And look, they just pivot straight into a safe lane. And now you have power picks in the Aurora, a power pick in the Skarner, Aatrox on the Aeroliners is pretty much accurate at this point.
He's more accurate. Aatrox.
Yeah, I mean
he is the world ender.
He is the world ender. He plays it almost every game at this point. So, listen, I really like the draft coming out from the Seawolves. I think it is a lot of strong champions. It does look like the Gwen is going to be into the jungle. And the thing is this composition is going to give a really hard time to the Aatrox and the Skarner based on the 1 CC that they have and 2 Gwen loves playing into melee champions. But it's not that bad for Aurora specifically. Jhin might have a little bit of a hard time chewing through these tanks until he really hits his full 6 items. But at that point anyways, there's not a lot of pressure onto him.
Yeah, I mean, the Jhin, you're picking Jhin Karma, you're picking a strong, early, aggressive lane to just shove under tower. The Skarner has so many good gank options. Ezreal struggles with wave clears, struggling to hold off these dives. Gwen needs time to come online, so Gwen's not going to be able to match those dives as well, and if Gwen does show up, she's going to be pretty weak compared to the Skarner. But there's so many power picks on this team. We have Aatrox, we have Aurora, Jin's a really strong AD carry, and all 3 of these lanes are going to be pushing. It's going to be super easy for Init to get his camp safely and set up these dives in basically any lane. And even though Jhin might not be able to chew through the Scion, through the Galio, through the Braum, that's Aurora's job now. Aurora has so much % health damage and a lot of knockup along with Aatrox that I don't think Jin's going to have too much to worry about besides the Braum shield.
And you really got to talk about the fact that Stony Brook, I really feel like they have all of the go buttons in this game. I mean, outside of the Scion ultimate, there's no one that can really engage for DePaul. maybe a Braum flashing forward, but like at the same time, that doesn't really feel good to use your flash like that on the Braum. You have great follow up in the Galio, you have great follow up in the Braum, but their go button is really limited, especially when Skarner can just step in front of that Scion charging and then back right back out. It's kind of hard to see what will be going for them. At the same time, it feels like this draft is a counter engage draft, but the Seawolves aren't a hard committing kind of team anyways.
No, definitely not. I mean, Jin Karma offers so much poke damage. They can chip away at these objective fights. They take up a lot of space with the Skarner, giving Aatrox and Aurora room to breathe and look for these flanks around the enemy. They have to cover all sorts of angles. The Scion, the Galio, Braum.
Yeah.
Counter engage, they have to play super defensively. They can't afford to just walk up and start a fight. They have to be constantly on the lookout for where the Skarner is, because he could be coming from all sorts of unintuitive angles, especially for the uninitiated. And keeping track of where Skarner is on top of having to deal with the Jin and the Karma damage in these team fights, it's just going to be really mentally taxing. It's it's like a psychological torture experiment
and
trying to deal with all of the damage coming out.
Specifically the Gwen, I mean, sitting inside her Hallowed Mist, sitting inside that W that makes her untargetable, that's one of her primary parts of her entire kit. But the Skarner can easily drag her out of that. And the CC on top of that, obviously anytime you're playing a melee champion that is trying to heal a lot of the damage that you're taking, CC like that from Skarner is just, it's the end of your day. It's the end of your team fight. It's the end of your game. It's going to be a permanent black screen if you can't either Zhonya's that or dodge it.
Yeah, I mean, this Gwen is gonna has a tough time ahead of her dealing with the damage, because Gwen has to walk up into the Karma, into the Jin, into the Skarner. There's just so much slowing her down.
And then that's exactly why she needs the Howled Mist, in order to avoid all of that damage.
Yeah, I mean, one good Gwen angle on the team, and Gwen can kind of shut down this Aatrox, especially if she starts getting ahead. I wouldn't count them out just yet, but it's going to be a lot. They have a lot to work with.
But the problem is like you start talking about them getting ahead, but what tools do they have in the early game to really set up anything for this Gwen? Aatrox should not die to a Gwen Scion gank. Aurora should not die. I mean, the most threat is onto the Aurora with the Galio, because you can, use the Justice Punch forward, the E forward, and then obviously follow it up with the taunt. And then, you hope Gwen has enough damage. But Ezreal, Braum, they can't set up a gank. I mean, the best form of engage is from Braum's passive, get the 4 procs, and then you get a stun. But that's against Karma Jin, a super safe lane that could speed each other out of any ganks, and worst comes to worst, you have to flash.
But one thing you do have to consider is that the Ezreal does proc the Braum passive really fast. You get tickled by one Braum Q, and the Ezreal auto Q autos you really faster than you might think. And just the burst damage coming out from that, along with the well-timed Gwen gank with Ghost.
But you still have to feel that you have to be in a... Because then you're saying your entire gank is coming down to if Braum can land that first part of his Q, because you can't... You're not realistically not going to walk up for an auto attack.
Of course not, but that's the thing, is that Gwen doesn't need these early ganks to be successful.
It's a power farming jungler.
Gwen can take her time, and the Ezreal Braum is just a really stable way of saying, okay, we might not be able to have pressure bot lane necessarily, but you definitely won't see us dying. It'll take too much resources, it'll take too much time, and as we're getting into game, we'll see where both junglers are looking to go. I mean, Skarner has flexibility. He could path top lane into the Aatrox Scion. Aatrox does have good disrupt to set up for the Skarner damage early on, more than you might think, but honestly, I think both junglers are going to start looking bot side. Maybe Gwen wants to path away if she knows that the Skarner is going to be pathing bot, but I wouldn't worry too much.
Yeah, and right now we are officially into Summoner's Rift with the Seawolves starting on the blue side, obviously DePaul on the red. And again, big question is, can Stony Brook close this game out in less than 30 minutes? Because that's what they've done all year, probably averaging, I want to think, somewhere around 24 minutes in time. And they got all the tools in order to do it right now. Tempest and Aeroliners are both on champions that can easily generate solo kills in their matchup. And if you look towards the top lane HP bar, Jamis already not having a fun time, as he was down to half HP and has to recall.
Yeah, I mean, Aatrox, we can see that he started the W, catching him off the bush level 1. Aatrox, even just the autos early on with the passive, just so much damage. And we can see him take the early recall. He's not going to be missing minions necessarily, but speak of the devil, Sion showing up to lane late. Neither... Gwen's looking to path bot, I guess, to cover off Skarner. Gwen does want to match the Skarner in that case on her information. We can see that Skarner's starting his Raptors. This could signal an early bot lane play under tower. Jin Karma will definitely have pressure early on, and they can look for a dive if they get enough chip damage off under tower. We can see some strong trades coming out in the mid lane. That's to be expected. Aurora has a decent amount of damage level 1. So does Galio. We can see that both mid laners kind of even in health. Galio popping a potion, and so is the Aurora.
Do you like the grasp on the Aurora?
I think it's interesting. I don't have much experience playing Aurora myself, so I wouldn't know if it's like an optimal setup necessarily, but I can see into Galio.
I think it's a response to the nerfs on fleet footwork lately. Is a lot of champions are opting to take grasp if they can. Obviously on the Jhin it's a little bit harder to stack up that grasp, but that might be the thought process behind Tempest's pick to go that keystone right now.
Yeah, I mean, you just get so many, we can see just like free autos on this Galio. Galio doesn't really have a way of getting onto Aurora that easily, so...
Yeah, it's either you engage into Aurora and then feel all of the abuse of trying to get out of that matchup after that, the extended trade, or you just don't, and then you see what's happening right now. But hold that as Aeroliner's going for his 1v1 kill already, just 240 into the game, is going to force the flash out of Jamis. Early pressure coming out for Aeroliners. You see how low he gets. He likes to play on that knife's edge.
Yeah, and we can see the Skarner's pathing top, maybe to cover off Aatrox, allowing him to shove in the lane, forcing the Sion teleport. Gwen not spotted on her blue buff right now. This is probably the one window where I could say Jin Karma might get caught out if Gwen gets a good ghost and Rom tags with the Q.
Aeroliner staying around really long right now. Is an auto attack away from death, but looks like he got the separation to back away from that. And in the mid lane, Tempest still trading aggressively. Wrath could look for the mid lane angle instead, Dylan.
Yeah, I mean,
hold
that thought.
And there goes Aeroliners in the top lane. Again, playing on that knife's edge. He is worse for wear because of it right now. And now Tempest is going to be in a little bit of trouble as well. Flashing forward is Mystic, and he gets all the CC to bring down Tempest. Will trade that kill out, though, importantly. I think it was the minions that finished off the job.
I mean, a 1-for-1 bet is a great result in a 1v2 gank, especially after Galio flashed for that kill.
Yeah, Flash still up on Tempest.
That could be a pain point, especially for Skarner ganks. Galio's a very telegraphed escape mechanism in his Justice Punch. It can be easily interrupted with a flash or even just a Skarner dash, but hold that thought right now.
Here comes another gank from Wrath. Does get the proc onto Step Aside with the full stun, already using Flash and Barrier. Stony Brook is getting a little bit rolled over in this early game, already down 3 kills to 1, just 420 into it.
And we can see that's the power. As stated before, this is like the one window where they really have to worry about a Gwen gank. They didn't see Skarner necessarily, but with Aatrox dying, Skarner probably in the top side vicinity to cover off the Aatrox.
Yeah, so kind of farming right now, but the problem is that you're already down on CS as well to Gwen, because she clears these camps so quickly, and it's only going to start going faster and faster as she gets some more items.
Yeah, I mean, Skarner, not one to really care much about CS, as long as the experience is up. Even Skarner just needs ultimate and level of limit is honestly set. I think there's a decent amount of trading happening in both of these solo lanes. And Stony Brook seems to have somewhat stabilized. I mean, they're only down 600 gold for giving up 3 kills. Top lane needs a wave and then a good spot for his Aatrox. Sion could be in a bit of a pickle in the next few minutes. No flash. Aatrox can't really get away from the Aatrox necessarily. All that thought was going to the mid lane. Aurora gets a lot of damage.
Getting really low, and he'll go down. Mystics with another solo, not another, but his first solo kill, and Tempest 2 deaths already at 530.
Yeah, I mean, Galio's passive does more damage than you might think. Tempest maybe spreading off a little more than he can chew with that game.
In it, trying to get some revenge for his mid laner. Not a lot of damage on this level 4 Skarner, but it doesn't matter. Mystics was too far forward without Flash. And did he use the Hero's Punch in that as well? Galio ultimate seems to be on cooldown in it. He shouldn't be in any trouble right now as Wrath has to back out of there. Tempest is on his way to help out his jungler, just killed his opponent. Tempest trying to look forward, but we go to the top side as well. Aeroliners already in the World Ender form, has to flash out, taking tower shots, might go down. Minions are smacking away right now. One more auto will seal the deal. Tempest will find one back for the Seawolves to make it 3-5 in kills. The gold is almost dead even.
Which is crazy. You might not think that kills is only a 200 gold difference, but looking at the mid lane right now, this Golden's gonna go really fast. Tempest already has really key on the tower. Not the good
Might get
against
died.
Galio.
He's going to ult forward now, looking forward onto Mystic. Tower shot with the auto procs will take him down. Kills back and forth, and Tempest is getting back into form.
And that's just the power of the Aurora. Aurora, all she needs is level 6, and she takes so much damage under tower. Especially Galio, W in any form of CC will proc the tower, and he doesn't really have a way of escaping that necessarily once Aurora's on top of it.
He wants to go forward as well on Galio. It's, again, like I said, it's so hard to go back, and the Hero's Justice, or Hero's Punch. What? Why don't I forget the Hero's Entrance.
Yes.
Hero's Entrance. There I go. Now it's clicking. Was used. I believe he tried to use that to escape from Init, using it onto Wraith, but it didn't go through. So importantly, that first Galio ult that you really want to use onto a side lane, not there. Still halfway through its cooldown.
Yeah, that's such a long cooldown early on, level 6.
Carolina is taking a lot more chunks on these trades. Jamas is going forward with the unstoppable force, not going to hit it, so he will stop it himself.
See that Sion bought the Bramble Vest, which you might think is a weak item in this Aatrox lane. Just having any amount of anti-heal makes it trade a lot more favorably, knowing that Aatrox can just heal off of his
Yeah. Mountain Drake will go down to Wrath, so the first one onto the objective. And it's not able to have any kind of response for that, but not the end of the world. Just one Mountain Dragon early into the game.
I don't know how many dragons are going to be able to pick up this game. I think as the game goes on, the Skarmory and the Tower start coming online, that the objective fight might get harder and harder.
Play over towards the bot lane right now, as it looks like you have 6 people grouping up. Initial stun going to go onto Step Aside, and with no flash, he's just going to go down. Etong has to get the hell out of dodge, and he will. And it was there for a little bit of support, but he just watched his teammate die. As Tempest with another solo kill onto the mid lane. And really the hope for Stony Brook right now in it. Letting that Skarner ultimate fly. Not going to be able to do much with it because there's no damage anywhere around him. But looks like a little extended skirmishing, and Titanium Hawk will get a kill before falling himself. Keetong was the sacrificial lamb, but hey, listen, you got a little bit of kill money onto your jungler. He's now 2-0.
Stony Brook turning the tides back so well. All this fighting might have just paid off for them. You can see they're already up 700 gold, and a lot of that is in the bot lane difference. You might see that Ezreal has 3 kills, but the mid and bot side of the map, so all of the gold concentrated on them. Once Aurora gets her first item, we're going to be seeing a lot of damage coming out onto this Gwen. Gwen's going to have a hard time in these fights. Shredding the Scion as well. I think that Stony Brook's in a pretty good position to start taking the map right now.
Carolina, I swear, he's 0-2, but he's still pushing this wave like he's 5-0.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the power of Aatrox. Strong pick, Sion, champion, especially with the little mana that he has right now. Not the greatest as dealing with Aatrox is.
Yeah. And you got to mention, that 14 CS lead now cut to a little bit less is doing some benefit for Aeroliners to make up that kill gold that's gone back the other way of Jamas.
And I don't know if the Sion's going to speak the devil. Never mind. Sion could be looking to finish this Thornmail, but I'm a little confused by the double Giant's Belt. It could just be, I mean, Sion does scale with health on his passive, so I wouldn't be too worried, but it's just a little bit of a question mark.
It will probably be double Giant's Belt into completing your first item after that. Maybe it will be a Thornmail first item, because you obviously already have the 2 components for that, with the Bramble Vest and the Giant's Belt.
Speaking of completed items, you can see the Malignance on the Aurora right now.
Such a strong item.
Yeah, and Aurora is such a strong champion. A lot of damage mentioned before. Galio doesn't really build magic resistance this early on, so Aurora will be shredding through. But Galio may be biting off a little more than he can chew. A bit of poke damage coming back.
Tempest, he's buffering all of that CC so well. And the thing you got to remember with the Malignance, and something that when I first read the description of the item, I'm like, okay, well, it's completely reliant on you hitting your ultimate then. I did not think about the angle where it's the area of effect ultimates like Aurora, where all you got to do is have all 5 members inside of that zone, which is really big anyways, and you get all of that damage down. As I got to hold that thought as Tempest just died for a one-on-one. Now Init is going to trade with the Wrath, a little bit of jungle combat right now, and Init on the Skarner, I don't think he wants any part of it. Will actually get the ultimate off, dragging them under tower, and that's going to probably do it. Again, it's a lengthy cooldown. I saw the angle. But it's a lengthy cooldown to use it like that. And Init now in a little bit of trouble. It does have Keetong to give some shields and some speed, and Jamas is now going to unstoppable force right into Aeroliners, who could look to extend this skirmish. TP coming in from Tempest as well. Stony Brook absolutely want this play. In it, through the wall, will stun up Jamas, and there's plenty of damage from Stony Brook, but the step aside effect in the bot side, he will go down because of the 2-on-1 dive coming out from Titanium Hawk and his support.
You can see this resulting in a clean Void Grubs fight, being able to get those first 3 on the map right now. I mean, I feel bad for Stepside having to miss that huge wave under tower right now, but that's the price you have to pay when you know that the support's topside. Braum really good at setting up these plays. Jin not being able to really clear thin the wave in time. They just get a clean, easy bot lane kill in retaliation.
Right now, Stepaside is, I'm going to tell you exactly what he's doing. He's pressing tab, and he's saying, hey guys, do you remember when I carried you on Kai'Sa like 5 games in a row? Yeah, do you mind carrying me right now? Because I'm 0-3 with 85 CS, and Ezreal has Trinity Force already complete.
And even though Ezreal has the big, bulky Trinity Force, very strong spike, by the way, I'm scared of this Ezreal. This Ezreal's going to be doing so much damage to our front line right now, especially with Aatrox building a damage item first. But Jin having the static Shiv, just focusing on the wave clear, focusing on cheap items that give him good enough stats. All Jin needs is 1 or 2 items, and he's set.
Yep. And again, like I was saying, Aeroliners, despite being down 0-2, has 1 assist act, so he has gotten that Scion to die, is still just pushing forward and trading in the face of Jamas like nothing's happening. And this is another example of it. Aeroliners, he might have to go all in right now, still has the World Ender up. He's 1 auto away and finally procs it, but will go down. He's really not coming up with these solo kills right now, but his teammates trying to make back up for it in the bot side of the map towards this jungle fight. Tempest has to do all the work, but he's so low, flashes out of the pit, shut down, going to go over onto Init, courtesy of Wrath, and that's going to be it for the fight for Stony Brook. They don't want anything else to do with it, and the Dragon will go over to DePaul.
And if I'm Stony Brook now, I'm thinking, okay, how can we slow this game down? How can we slow the pace down? We need time for our carries to get items. Aurora needs these 2-3 items to really start pumping through this Scion. Scion's pretty strong as it is, with looking to build the Warmog's first item, actually. But Aurora, once she gets her 3rd item, she'll start shredding through that health bar like no tomorrow, especially with being the sole magic damage dealer besides Karma on the team with items.
And Karma and damage dealing are obviously in quotations because it is a full support Karma.
It is a full support Karma, but that Mantra Q in a 2-on-2 situation does a lot of damage.
100%, especially if you get from the root from Jin, because obviously the first part of the empowered Mantra Q will slow and apply damage, and then you have the pillar that comes out after it. So if you can get that Jin root down, then they eat the full amount of damage, which is, it can be hefty. Obviously, you're not too worried about it if you're the Braum, but if you're Titanium Hawk, it might be another story.
Yeah, I mean, you're not really picking Karma for the damage past like 10-15 minutes anyway. It's nice to have the Mantra Q, but that Mantra E in a team fight is such a large shield, especially with these increased shield power support items that she'll be building over the next 15 minutes.
And the speed, you got to talk about it as well. All of these champions for Stony Brook really like the speed benefits. Obviously, Jin, it's going to be more of an AD booster for the time being, but for the Aurora, for the Skarner, and for the Aatrox, those speed is core parts of all of their kits.
Yeah, and speed is so important into the Galio, into the Scion, into the Ezreal, these telegraphed skill shots, with these slow, long-form team fights. Ezreal needs to just poke down. Ezreal can't take just an immediate 5v5. He needs the time to be able to do damage, and the more time they can spend making Ezreal whiff, making Ezreal miss his Q, the better it will be for Stony Brook.
Well, in the meantime, we're getting more solo kills out from both of these laners in Stony Brook. Aeroliners looking like he'll finally get the better of his opponent, and he does. Tempest also picked up a kill in the mid lane. And listen, Stony Brook, a little bit of a rough start, but they're starting to turn it with a 2K gold lead.
I was just about to mention that. I mean, you can see that the kills are even. That doesn't tell you the whole story about what's happening on the map. 2 towers are gone for DePaul right now, and it could be a 3rd one very soon, especially with the 6 grubs actually online.
And while we were focused on the dragons, Init was able to secure the full 6 grub bonus. So I heard it compared to as a clown car from Captain Flowers when you drop that Herald in the mid lane. That's exactly what it is. And that top lane turret about to fall, Stony Brook already took the tier 1 mid and the tier 1 bot. So that's where a lot of their money is coming from right now. And the rest of it, it's on this man right here, Tempest. 6-1, almost at 2 completed items already at 16 minutes. He's going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, totally. If I'm Scion, I'm worried right now. I mean, if I'm Scion, I see that I have a Heart Seal, not a Warmogs actually, but looking at myself and I'm saying, okay, I may have 5,000 HP at 15
It's gonna be
minutes,
gone.
but
Yep.
the Aurora, once she gets that Rift Maker online, which I believe that item is, there's going to be a lot of HP shred happening, and that health bar might go bye-bye. It might be paper napkin.
Very, very quickly. Against Step Aside, he feels amazing in the spot that he's already in because Step Aside has one item. But then you look at the mid lane and you realize that you might have a problem on your hands. But in the other case, you got to look at the same way with Titanium Hawk. With the Triforce already completed in it, and Aeroliners are not going to want to have any part of those Mystic shots coming out. And because of that, it's going to be about who can carry these fights harder. But right now, the question is, can Aeroliners get out of this 1v2? Popping the World Ender already and backing up, but not going to do enough. 12-10 now, the kills. And the Blue Demons, they're doing a good job in the kill department, but they have to stay equal with gold. And they really got to get some of this standing gold back in the turrets.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm the Blue Demons right now, I'm taking what I can get on the map right now. This Aatrox just seems to be dying permanently in the side lane. He's not going to be having a lot of resistance anytime soon because Gwen will have no trouble shredding through the Aatrox's health bar, even with the World Ender. There's just so much disrupt in these fights. But hold that thought as we're looking bot side. Skarner going in for the dive, forcing the Galio taunt. I mean, the play kind of seems to be over. Skarner lost a lot of HP, but Gwen coming in, saved the day a little bit.
DePaul might want to chase this a little bit, but they don't get the angle for it in the end. And again, Tempest still holding on to the ultimate is the real big playmaker in these team fights. Wrath stepping a little bit far forward. Enid doesn't have his ultimate on cooldown right now, so can't look to drag anyone back with him. And it's just going to be a turret in the top lane in the meantime, so DePaul does get one of those back. Aeroliners probably going to continue to look to push forward, especially with the Dragon coming closer to being alive again. He can look to get that top lane turret while the rest of his team groups towards bot and does have the TP available to join for any eventual team fight.
Yeah, and Aurora's second item coming online. This Scion's going to have a lot to work through. You can see he's already bought the Spectre's Cowl in response. Just getting that little bit of MR could save a team fight. With Aurora being the main gold on the team, once that MR comes online, I think Aurora will have a lot of work ahead of her to start shredding through this front line, but we can see that they're grouping up for a dragon fight right now.
Full 5v5 coming out already. Titanium Hawk took a little bit of poke damage. Ult coming out from Tempest is going to be followed up by Jamis, and here comes the hero entrance. Lands onto absolutely no one. Stony Brook is kiting this back excellently, and the question is, do they want to re-engage? They forced out a lot of ultimates so far from DePaul, and I don't think they're going to want to take this fight anymore. In it, just skirmishing off to the side with Jamis. Knockup is going to land onto Keetong, and they're just still kiting this back. Here comes Aeroliners getting a lot of damage down, and a 3-man drag back coming from Init. Carries for Stony Brook are untouched, and now they're going forward. Everyone's dying on the side of DePaul, and Stony Brook are going to rout them in this fight. Aeroliners might have had a bad early game, but he's arrived at 20 minutes.
Yeah, the World Ender has shown up. He's knocked up everybody. This Aatrox, just so much damage coming out. The Aurora coming through. The Skarner ult super clutch. Even we can see the problem with DePaul's composition right now. They tried going in for that burst engage, but once you blow the Gallia ult, once you blow the Scion ult, there's no tools really to deal with the Aatrox, to deal with the Aurora, and just the misplaying, I guess, misunderstanding of the theme of the comp overall just really led to them just throwing the fight completely. We saw that one mistake led to 4 people dying, an ace actually, and a free dragon for Stony Brook.
Now, Dylan, those are all very cogent points, and I appreciate you for making them, but did you realize that no one helped Init kill that dragon?
Who needs help? I mean, everyone wanted gold. They wanted items.
I'm just saying.
Why are you trying to stir the pot right now?
I appreciate your jungler a little bit more. He just won you that team fight. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
And they said, thank you, I want to show up on the map at a reasonable time.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, being on time is one of those important things. I'm sure everyone's professor has talked about being on time at one point or another.
And Skarner, it might take a long time for him to get these dragons going, but he has a decent amount of base damage, especially with the Heartsteel with the pickaxe. Just very slowly, very surely.
Definitely not as quick as old Skarner especially when you got that Spire going, and then you feel like you're attacking at like Mach 500.
Yeah, I mean, but in exchange for that, you have so much more reliable disrupt now. It's not just a single.
Dylan, do you know what time it is?
It's Baron time.
It's 20-minute Baron time. Stony Brook does this essentially every game. When they get the opportunity to force a fight or get a free Baron, they take it every time. Now, this Baron take is a little bit slower because they don't have the champions to take it like they normally do, like the Kaisa, like the Cassiopeia in the mid lane, and because of that, they have to fall back out. But they are probably going to go back there as soon as Init heals up a little bit and look to go for that Baron just dry again.
Yeah, the Aurora's mostly is really going to be the main damage dealer for this Baron. I mean, the Jhin obviously helps having 2 items, but Jhin is not known for being the most immediately reliable DPS AD carry they might be familiar with. Jin's very much I'll hit you 2 or 3 times and it'll be a lot more than what you can do to me in the same amount of time. But he's over a long period of time, he definitely falls off compared to this Ezreal in terms of raw damage output. But hold that thought. We're looking top lane. This Scion's looking very caught out right now.
Jamis is in no man's land, and he's just getting tossed around by a couple of members of Stony Brook. Deadly Flourish to root him in place for a little bit longer, and I believe Tempest had done a majority of that damage anyway, so it is 1 dead on the side of DePaul, but the rest of the team has shown up. The rest of the gang is here for a little bit of revenge. That zombie form is doing so much as well. Tempest is spotting out, but now he's going to go back in anyways. Ultimate lands onto 3, and then crucially engage onto Titanium Hawk. He will fall down, and Stony Brook might have enough damage to clean up the rest of this fight. They're going forward onto the last 3 players, and Tempest is still up. Jhin, 4th shot coming through, will take a majority of that Brahms HP bar with him. Tempest will die, but it does not matter. Stony Brook win the 4-on-5 because Aeroliners is in that bot lane, still pushing, baby.
Yeah, I mean, for a 4v5 situation, well, I guess actually a 4v4. Sign was dead, but if you want to count the zombie form as a full person.
4-on-5, because you had to kill him before as well.
Oh, yeah, sure. That took a fair amount of time. I mean, the Avengers shown up, but they were just not enough to deal with Stony Brook's team right now. Stony Brook's really coming out of their shell, coming out of the cave. You poke the giant wakes up.
Yeah. I mean, again, and Enid on these ultimates has been superb.
Yeah, I mean, just that's what you want to see from your jungler, especially when you're playing like these low econ. We were just talking about how Enid might be the titanium weak link of the team, but he's really showing up. He's carrying the weight.
He heard me. He heard me from across
through the room.
Yeah, he heard me bionic hearing across the hall, and he's going to beat me up after.
Yeah,
he just
he's
telepathically told me. Yeah.
Yep.
No, my time as casting is over. I hope you've enjoyed my play-by-play. I won't be here next Tuesday.
It's okay. I don't know if I'll be able to do this without you. I mean, it's your pleasure to cast it. I don't know if I could live up to your presence on the stage. I mean,
I appreciate that.
I don't know. It takes a team of 2.
It does, or sometimes 3. You do get 3 people on all the world's broadcasts.
That's true. That's so many voices.
I know some argue it's unnecessary. I think in a game like League of Legends, it's fine because you have so much downtime between fights. But speaking of downtime, it's not right now because there's a catch in top lane. Once again, Stony Brook going fishing, and they're finding some more kills. This time it's going to be onto Mystics. Is doing his best to get away right now, but he ain't Faker. He ain't getting out of it. And because of it, Stony Brook get another kill. Now, the trade back onto Aeroliners, this is a good question as he's going low. Pops the World Ender for a little bit of movement speed, looking for the knockups. Trading back onto Wrath, gets him so far low, but that empowered Q does so much damage. And another trade back as Stony Brook will not allow that death of their top laner to go in vain. They're quickly onto the Baron. They see so many players from DePaul or bot side, and because of that, they're going to take home the big purple worm.
Yeah, and although you might be thinking that, hey, that's the reason you pick Gwen, right? You want to be able to shred through this Aatrox immediately. The empowered Q, the ult, needles just do so much damage, but not being in the right spot on the map at the right time. We saw that they were pinging the dragon area, but I think they missed like the forest for the trees, and they lose a very important objective, especially with 3 lanes pushing in. Once they catch this mid wave, I mean, you got the Cloud Dragon, but at what cost?
I mean, and to be honest, Stony Brook could look to contest the Cloud Dragon if they wanted to. They're not going to, and not going to look for any fight afterwards anyways. But they're going to start pushing up into the mid lane, so now it's going to be a little bit of an awkward timing for the Blue Demons, because either they're going to have to reset or walk in from an angle that Stony Brook could easily engage on them from. So it's going to be the Tier 2 in mid lane going down, and then they're going to look to push it forward even further after that. And
it's just like a simple like macro misplay from the Blue Demons. I mean,
Mystics is misplaying it even harder right now as we say that. He's going to go down, so it's now a 5-on-4. Aeroliner's looking to pinch in onto Jamis. He is tanky enough to try to walk back, but in it, with an Ice Gauge started off, Jamis is getting knocked up and bounced around, but he's not the primary target for Tempest. He's going to go forward onto the Braum, dropping him first, looking to follow it up onto Wrath underneath the Tier 3 towers, and Stony Brook is flying forward at 25 minutes, all the way into the base. The inhibitor going down. Probably not to close out the game just yet, but they're at least going to try.
And DePaul, I mean, basically caught with their pants down. That dragon play might have just lost them the game. I mean, there's so many waves pushing in, especially with the grubs. Just so much tower damage coming out for 25 minutes into the game. I mean, we were talking about, will the game finish in 30 minutes or sub 30? Absolutely.
The answer is yes, because the Nexus is being slapped around right now.
26 on the dot.
It will fall down. 26 minutes on the dot for the Seawolves. That's how they're going to close out this game. And that's how we're going to close out this part of our cast, because it probably ain't going to be too much longer with the way the Seawolves have continued to play. So stick around during this little bit of an intermission, and we will come back right away with Game 2, where the Seawolves will look to 2-0 DePaul University. And we are back, game 2, already ready to happen as we are into the draft. And Dylan, time for you to use your expertise. Tell me what's happening on the screen right now. Why is there another Lee Sin ban?
I don't know. Lee Sin's just a very strong playmaking jungler. I mean, in the hands of a competent jungler like Innit, I'd be terrified of seeing a Lee Sin. A good Lee Sin takes over the map. Just he's inside your brain. He knows exactly where you are at all times. I'm terrified. I think it's a very conservative, like, okay, I just need to get rid of some good junglers. Lee Sin will always be relevant in some capacity, and he has a lot of setup, a lot of slows, a lot of damage.
Oh, yes, it did happen.
We got the Yone.
Tempest Yone. They let it get through. A big reason you got to mention is because they had to pinch down on the champion pool of Keitong. I mean, you take out the Leona, you take out the Nautilus, and you're trying to take out the ability for Keitong to win the game under 5 minutes with Step Aside next to him.
Yeah, they might have let through a demon coming out.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe the blue teams, I don't know. Are they ready for this one? This Yone is about to be very
He might seal their fate.
Yeah,
was that too on the nose, Dylan? That might have been too on the nose.
It might not have been on the nose enough. You might be a little askew.
Maybe.
But
I think I can get away with that one. Oh, actually, hold up. Aura Yone. So that's flex picks both ways. You don't really know where that's going to end up. And it's going to be based on preference of who wants to play into the Jax, who wants to play into the Vex. I'm going to bet it's still Yone mid. I don't know why you would want to play a melee into a Jax when you could help it.
But I think a bigger issue is I think Aurora's better capable of dealing with the Vex because Yone can't really Q3 or E necessarily without triggering a Vex fear.
Yeah.
And that could be really annoying. I think Yone would much rather just take the grasp and be like, okay, I might not be winning lane into Jax necessarily, but I'll still be able to get 2 items and start shredding towers. I mean, we see the Ashe coming through as well. Actually, I missed that in the ban phase. Step Aside on Ashe, very strong, stable AD carry, which is important
Soraka.
when you see Yone, Aurora topside. Those are lanes you want to be playing towards with the Sejuani. So being able to pick Ashe, Soraka, and say, okay, we'll be fine down here.
Now, what I'm seeing right now, Dylan, is there's a common theme with the champions picked from the red side. Do you want to guess what that common theme is that I'm picking up on?
I want to look at this and say that I hate playing against all of those champions. That's
one of them.
That's pretty compelling.
The other one is they all scale really well.
That is true. I mean, I would say that the Vex is kind of off color in that
the
respect.
Vex is the odd one out, but the Vex can still do things in the late game if you get the right angles.
Yeah, I'd agree. Vex is like the one lane that you have that says, okay, I'm strong now. I have great setup. I have a lot of damage if I proc my fear. And Jack's still able to be relevant early on. I think the Skarner is definitely going to be playing towards the top side, and so will the Sejuani. And I think red side is just going to be saying, okay, how can we keep these Sejuani ganks from coming off? Because Sejuani can obviously just take 3 camps and path top faster than Skarner. Skarner wants to have the level 4 before showing up to a lane. It certainly helps having 2 points in queue. That's just more damage, and it doesn't take you that much time to clear those extra camps either. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot of action in the top side. I think Ashe and Kog'Maw are just going to kind of handshake and say, okay, we'll be range supports, we'll poke at each other, but I don't think either lane necessarily will be looking for those all-ins.
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what it is, but the Sejuani coming out and the Skarner coming out might force them to fight a little bit more than they would be prone to in the 2-on-2.
Yeah, and Sejuani has amazing synergy with the Yone. Yone, being a melee champion, procs the Sejuani passive very quickly.
Yep.
Auto Q auto, that's 3 stacks already. So Sejuani,
and the Aurora as well. The Aurora can stack it very quickly because she does want to get those auto attacks off.
Yeah, and Sejuani loves having these melee champions who can set her up for multiple CC chains, maybe with an Ashe ult at level 6.
Yep.
We could be seeing a lot of action around these grubs.
And you got to imagine that playing side lanes this game is going to be so hard for the Blue Demons because the Yone and the Aurora are more than competent 1v1 champions. Additionally, you throw out that Ashe arrow that can hit you really at any moment. And the long-range engage that can come out from Sejuani, the Winter Assault over the wall, followed up with her ultimate then for a stun. You know, it really is a lot at the end of the day to pick off these side laners. And hey, if that doesn't work, you got a Soraka backing you up in a team fight. I mean, that can win you games alone. Not sure how many of you are familiar with 1LS, but he is very, very passionate about the fact that Soraka is and always has been a top-tier champion in League of Legends.
And we're going to see that power demonstrated today. I mean, Soraka Ash, both champions with global ultimates that can impact team fights no matter where they are, which helps a lot into the bursty Vex and the Jax. Being able to have an extra third of your health bar back
Yep.
is so important. And Yone, Aurora love these long sustained fights. Being able to proc Sejuani stuns multiple times, I think this could spell trouble for DePaul.
Yeah, and the other thing that spells trouble for DePaul, Stony Brook has still not lost a single game of League of Legends. I'm not talking about series. I'm talking about has not lost one game of League of Legends. Their Nexus has never exploded, and they have always killed the enemy Nexus under 30 minutes. So regardless of what the draft comes through as, that is the number one thing that you have to remember about this team. They're damn good at League of Legends.
Yeah, and we could say that this could be the golden road for Stony Brook. I wouldn't say yet that all roads lead to Stony Brook. I've yet to see the Azir lock in, but
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe if Tempest is feeling like being Faker for one day, maybe we'll see some roads lead to him.
Hey, I mean, Faker looked like he was a little more human in the summer of the LCK, now trying to put back into form at Worlds, but I'd still take a Tempest over Faker any day of the week.
Yeah, I don't
$6
know.
million
Tempest,
$6 million man, I'll take my Seawolf any day.
yeah, I mean, Tempest, just phenomenal player. We've seen him play all sorts of champions this season already. We can see that he's going Comet Aurora, which is a little different than the Grass. We can see that the flexibility of rune choice is really important here for Aurora. Being able to just poke out this Vex. Vex is a champion who loves having those immediate bursty fights that the Yone would give her. But Aurora is way less committal, a lot more poke heavy, just shove in waves. So I think this Vex might have a little bit of trouble. We can see that even she's taking Comet. Not what you want to be seeing for your Vex.
Yeah, and because of that, right now we are into games. So we have Stony Brook once again opting in for the blue side, and DePaul on the red. DePaul, of course, down 1-0 in games against Stony Brook, looking to be the first one to make the Seawolves look mortal. And Stony Brook, their only job, continue to do what they've been doing. Obviously, Aeroliners, a little bit of a struggle in the early game last game, looking to turn that around right now, and he's going to have to fight against this Jax one-on-one. Counter-Strike already coming out, so at this point, Yamas needs to look to run away. Yone does win those extended fights level 1 because of the Q being such a low cooldown, but Aeroliners instead is going to look for the back. Yamas walking in now as well, just might look for a little bit more poke damage, and Aeroliner is going to back up even further, not allow him to get anything. That ward should spot out in it as well, so they know Sejuani is starting on the blue solo, and the question is, what can Wrath do with that information?
Well, we can see that he's starting bot side right now. He's going to be looking to get this Jax ahead, because Jax, once he's ahead, this Yone will have a lot of trouble on his hands. He went lethal. He's opting for lethal tempo, so he's going to be a lot more looking for those long fights, and if Jax can get ahead, he will shut down this Yone before Yone has time to scale.
Keatong throwing out a little bit of poke right there. Not much happening in the bot lane, and nothing will really happen in the bot lane for a long time because, hey, they're just playing those kind of champions.
And I see my favorite Kog'Maw skin, the little pug, but looking topside, Jax
Aeroliners
showing off that E level 1, super
taking
strong.
a bad trade. Aeroliners needs to look to extend it a little bit. Does have the lethal tempo, but is just going to go down level 1 once more. Yamas making no mistake in that Jax-Yone matchup very early on.
Yeah, and that's just the power of the Jax level 1. I mean, if you don't respect Jax, we think of Jax as a scaler, but his level 1 through 3 is much stronger than a lot of people give him credit for, and we can see that being put to action. Even with Doran's Shield versus Doran's Blade, that Jax trade just looks so dominant for him. Both
Especially
being blown.
When you get those grasp as procs as well, and when you empower it with the W, I mean, so many good things can happen for the Jax early on. And again, a lot of Jax matchups do come down to the way that you use your Counter-Strike, and listen, if the Yone just kind of face tanks your damage, it's a good trade for you.
For sure, and it also helps shut down all that minion damage, which is so important level 1. That's a very underrated use of the Counter-Strike for Jax, is that you can auto first and then activate your Counter-Strike, and it kind of negates all of the minion damage coming out at the same time.
Yeah. As we see it, Titanium Hawk is getting poked down quite a bit in this bot lane. Step aside and Keatong, they're doing a great job of landing all the poke that they need to. When you see Tempest stepping forward, looking for another trade so low onto Mystic, a minion auto would have been able to finish that off. But nonetheless, Mystic lives to tell another tale and will recall and look to use the teleport. But Tempest, job done. Force a reset from his opponent and to up in tempo in this mid lane.
Yeah, and that's just what you want to see if you're Stony Brook University. You see that even though your Yone may be behind for now, your Aurora's getting that lane pressure, and your Ashe, Soraka doing their job, just keeping this Kog'Maw under tower. You can see there's already a 6 CS differential, and we're 3 minutes into the game.
Yep. And Tempest still just looking to dash forward, looking for more trades. Has already used the reset, so took it to get boots, but we got to focus on this top lane right now as Aeroliners finds himself in some more trouble. The pushback into the wall will find the stun. Aeroliners leveling up, but that's not going to do anything. Looking to clear as much of the wave as possible, leaves 2 caster minions alive. That will fall, so now it's 2 deaths under 4 minutes for Aeroliners, once again struggling in this early game.
We were talking before about how he's so good at playing that island position, but now we're seeing that maybe he's starting to look a little more human, finding himself opened up a lot more in these early game fights, and it's not letting that go to waste. He's getting all this pressure bot side, and this Kog'Maw is just being forced out from tower, and we're not even 5 minutes into the game.
The Force Flash on the Renata will make it an easier regain. Tempest calling for help from his teammates in the bot lane. He'll be able to walk to safety because of that. And you got to mention, Stony Brook down 600 gold, but I am assuming they are winning in the bot side right now, considering Step Aside already up 10 CS. There's going to be more killed off to the turret, and they have a plate in addition. So I think it's going to be a pretty clear bot lane trying to win game kind of scenario.
And not only that, but we can see that they're missing a pretty big wave under tower. I'll say Kog'Maw might get half of what's there, and we're going to be hoping that this Ashe will be able to put her lead to good use.
Aeroliners, he's going all in on this as well, and is just going to die. Yamas punishing him out for taking the tower shot while he was still in the E form, and it's just kind of getting a little out of control right now for Aeroliners.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the matchup. I mean, whoever gets that first kill kind of dominates the lane because both champions are stat checking bullies. They really love their super high base damage early on. So if Jax is able to get that early sheen coming back to lane, this Yone might have a lot of trouble on his hands. So for Stony Brook, Sejuani's definitely going to be playing around this bot. So we can see she's pathing bot for this early dragon. There's not much she can do for Yone right now. I mean, it sucks, but that's top lane. You sign up for it.
Yep. Yeah, it really is. And you still feel that he'll be able to have impact in the team fights like he was able to last game. Obviously, the Yone and the why am I forgetting it? Why do I keep doing this to myself? Aatrox.
Aatrox.
Yone and the Aatrox, not the most comparable champions. One is, you know, someone who likes team fighting and drain tanking, and Yone is very reliant on being able to hit your skill shots and your knockups in order to have big impact on the team fight. And you got to mention, if Yone is caught out of position with the CC that is available for the Blue Demons, he can go down very quickly if he's behind.
Yeah, and we can see that this Yone is already dying 3 times. Not what you want to see if you're Stony Brook, but they're capitalizing, and they're going to try to stabilize play through the bot side. We can see that because of this pressure difference that DePaul is able to get the first dragon of the game, the Cloud Dragon.
3 and 3 coming up in the bot side. Step Aside might look to turn this play around as Init makes his presence known. They're going to go onto the Sejuani instead. He Arctic Assaults forward, forces the flash out of Titanium Hawk, and now both teams are kind of just jockeying for position. Step Aside still cutting back, gets that auto-empowered with the Q, looking to put damage down range, and he's doing so much of it. Wrath so low to falling, but he hasn't died yet. Titanium Hawk getting the bailout, but will fall to Keetong anyways. 1 for 1 right now as Stony Brook looks to press this advantage. Keetong going forward, battle Soraka all the way. Step Aside gets another kill, and Aeroliners has to flash out in the top lane.
I mean, Stony Brook, that's what you want to see. You want to be able to see this bot lane pressure being put to good use. Ashe is so strong before level 6. Her slows and her Q damage on crits so strong early on. We can see that the kiting was just absolutely perfect from Step Aside. It looked a little close. He had to pop the barrier, but he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, Aeroliners looking like he's getting back into this lane a little bit. It is in range for a solo kill if he plays it correctly. Getting to the level 6 is an important power spike for him because that Fate Field... why can't I speak right now? Fate Sealed ultimate is so impactful, not only in the one-on-one, but in the team fights as well.
Yeah. And even though he's down 10 CS, once he starts getting that Berserker's Views, once he gets that first item, it'll be closer than you might think. But we can see that Jax is just so strong with the W, Grasp, and Sheen.
Oh, stun landing in the mid lane. Tempest is going to go off of it, and he'll get a nice setup from Step Aside. Great job on the Ashe R, but Aeroliners, can you win out on this one right now? Still has the ultimate up, and Jamis is going to respect it and back up.
And this could be trouble for Yone. I mean, the teleport's coming up soon, so it's not the end of the world. We can see the Counter-Strike flash coming through, popping
Jamis
him
will
on the
get
spot.
it. And it is there to try to get a revenge kill, and Tempest is wandering his way up into the top lane as well. Wrath has gone down so low, and the ultimate is still there for Init. Could look to stun out one of these players. I don't know why Tempest is looking to recall right now. His top player's jungler, is still fighting. A little bit of miscommunication right there.
Well,
and
we can see Tempest actually is super low in HP. So
oh, that is why. That is why I didn't see that. Thank you for pointing out to that.
no, I was thinking the same thing, and then
Yeah.
I glanced over and was like, oh yeah, I guess 1 HP Aurora,
Not really-
not really
yeah.
the greatest at.
I mean, if Init had a little bit more HP in the CC, maybe you can play around it a little bit, but Aeroliner's still going for these aggressive trades, and Yamas is the better for it right now. He's 4-0-1.
That's a very strong Jax.
Yeah, that's a very fed Jax.
He's gonna start looking like Godzilla really soon.
Yamas going in. He has full HP to face against Aeroliners and only a quarter of his own, and still forces that ultimate away from Aeroliners.
I mean, if Yamas really wanted to, he could have stepped in front of the ultimate, but I guess he didn't really want to push his luck in case the Sejuani was nearby, which she happens to be. They're both taking those Void Grubs right now.
Gotta remember, last game, Stony Brook did take all 6 of them. Wrath is trying to change that narrative right now, is going to claim 1 back for the Blue Demons, but might pay for it with his life as he's in the middle of 3 Seawolves right now, and they're a hungry pack searching for another kill. Tempest dashing forward, will collect it, makes it a 2-0-0 Aurora, and we saw what he did last game with it.
Yeah, and this Aurora pick's looking really strong right now. I know we were talking about how strong the Yone pick was as a power pick, like you're taking that first every time, but not the greatest showing for the Yone right now. But
Step aside, looking to make something happen with his ultimate Enchanted Crystal Arrow out. It will be cleansed away by Titanium Hawk. He's going, but he's going to be gone as that bailout fades with no kill, and it will be a 2-0 Ashe as well for the Seawolves.
And that's just what you want to see. If you're topside and you're Aerolines and you're looking at Stepside and you're saying, thank God, we're at 80 CS at 10 minutes. Very respectable, 2 kills on an Ashe. Although we not think of Ashe as the most efficient hyper carry, she definitely performs well with gold.
Yeah. I mean, especially Ashe as of recent, the buffs that's really brought her back into the meta. Ashe is one of my favorite AD carries in general because of the utility it provides. And, you got to mention Step aside, hold that thought as Init is going forward. Great ultimate, finding out Mystic, and that will be another kill. You got to mention Mystic 0-2, but one of them was to an arrow to the face, straight from base, and the other one was off a gank from Init. So he's been fine in the one-on-one. He's been solid in the one-on-one, even up in CS, but it's been the team play from Stony Brook that has prevailed.
And speaking of the team play by Stony Brook, I know we were talking originally about how the Sejuani wants to be playing towards this top side, towards this Yone, towards this Aurora, but we're seeing that is actually reversed. Yone's kind of being left to his own devices. We see that Ashe is up almost 40 creeps in the bot lane, and Aurora's looking pretty ahead right now. Opting to swap. They're sending Ashe Soraka topside to help deal with this Jax a little bit. Jax does have the Trinity Force coming online. Good lane assignments by Stony Brook, in my humble opinion.
I mean, they're also sending Ashe and Soraka top lane because there's the tower there for them to take.
Oh, absolutely. And Aurora being able to free farm in the bot side, maybe look towards his dragon eventually over the next few minutes. Sejuani covering off any potential play that could be happening topside. I mean, I see an Ashe and I see a Soraka.
Here comes the Enchanted Crystal Arrow again. It will land onto Mystic one more time. So much follow-up CC is there for Stony Brook, and Step aside will get his 3rd kill of the game. Action's not over yet as Wrath will push Init into the wall, and it flashes out, but then goes back in and gets instantly dragged back into 3 members of the other team. Gets locked down for a second from the ultimate from Renata Glass, but Step aside is there to back his teammates out. Going forward now untouched. There's no cooldowns to stop him. Still stepping forward, looking to get those auto attacks down range, and here comes Aeroliners from the other side of the wall. Gets onto Jamas for a second, but he will dash out with assistance from the ward, and no one will die in that exchange besides Mystic earlier in the play.
And honestly, that's the power of the Ashe buffs. I mean, Ashe is looking like the strongest champion in the game right now. The Kraken Slayer online. Ashe with 1-2 items just kind of takes over the game. Not only does she have utility, she has a lot of damage.
Play might come into the bot lane right now, and it will. Tempest blown up from the Vex. Nothing you can do about that, but the dive in response in the top side. Step aside is going to have to back up. Not well executed. Well, in all fairness, not enough minions to really push under tower in order to extend that play.
Yeah, just kind of keeping... Honestly, pretty good play from Stony Brook. Jax wants to be able to 1v2 under the tower, but once he's chunked this far, it's kind of hard for him to really catch these minions. We can see that he's forced to pop the Counter-Strike, missing most of the minions, just getting the XP. And these lane assignments looking to stabilize, looking to keep this Jax at bay. It's very hard for Jax to play against the Ashe and the Soraka. A lot of slows, a lot of crowd control, a lot of damage, and we can see that the Blue Demons are sort of counterplaying. They're just getting their second dragon, business as usual for Skarner. Skarner's just looking to collect his paycheck.
Yep. As the minions are going to be cleared on the top side, it really looks like Mystic is the only one that can have an assignment right now into the Ashe and Soraka. They are so powerful on the map right now, bringing all the top turret all the way down to 2 plates. Probably won't get back up there by the time they fall. And it is looking over to the Grub Pit one more time, looking to try to get it would be 5-1 advantage. So not the full 6, but hitting that 4 spike anyways is still so important.
I would say one thing to look forward to over the next few minutes is now that Aurora has her first item.
But you're going to have to hold that, Dylan, as Jamas, he thinks he's in a winning 1v1 right now, but there's a lot of Seawolves coming to collapse around him. 4 people to be exact, and I don't really know why Mystic chose to go in, as he's just going to fall to the meat grinder, and the Seawolves will claim 2. They won't get any of the voids as the Rift Herald spawns instead, but hey, that's a different objective that the Seawolves can still take.
Yeah, now pushing towards almost 5,000 gold advantage at 15 minutes. If I'm Stony Brook, I'm very happy with our play. I mean, you might see that Airliners has 4 deaths in 15. You might say, okay, well, that's not the greatest thing in the world. But look at the rest of the team. They're all looking so powerful right now. Sejuani with the Locket, super important in these bursty fights coming out from the Jax and the Vex. I mean, and the Kog'Maw just getting his first item online right now, not even with tier 2 boots yet. He's looking kind of homeless right now, I won't lie.
Just a little bit, just slightly.
I mean, it's hard for him to match, especially by himself. He's just hoping to collect these minions. I mean, Skarner's fighting to keep his topside jungle intact. Very concentrated, very dense in the topside. Everyone's looking to recall, just get some gold.
Look at the
get some
damage
resets.
coming out from Tempest. He's going to go all in off it as well. Mystic, you're in such a bad position as he's just going to keep going forward. A couple more skill shots are going to have to do it, but gets feared backwards. Flashing forward, he really wants this kill. Tempest not going to find it. I respect the attempt.
Yeah, and as I was going to say before a very important Void Grubs fight occurred, was that Aurora, now that she has her ultimate and her first item online, the Malignance, she's going to be looking to make a play in the side lane with her ultimate and just do as much damage as humanly possible. And
because of the Malignance, you can do that on repeat so much more often. That specific ultimate CDR coming from that item is just so nice for mages. Enchanted Crystal Arrow will miss, but in it will follow it up with some CC of his own, forcing the cleanse out of Titanium Hawk, and the Seawolves will take the tier 1 mid tower because of it.
And if I'm Kog'Maw right now and I see a Sejuani, an Ashe, and a Soraka, I'm saying, please, 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 can you build me some Mikhails?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the Renata Glass should be able to do that at some point, but there realistically is not enough save buttons coming out from in the game, realistically, in order to save Titanium Hawk if the Seawolves decide he is the #1 target.
And if I'm the Seawolves, I'm saying that is my #1 target.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, especially towards the late game, Kog'Maw can pump out so much damage. Tempest not winning this trade right now, trying to sidestep around all the Vex ultimates, and that is exactly what he does. Still not wanting any part of this. Might look to turn it around eventually. Soraka ult coming out. That's going to be the difference maker as Tempest claims the one-on-one, but towards the top jungle, it is a kill back onto Aeroliners. He's falling to 1-5 now. I mean, at this point, Dylan, I'm surprised we haven't talked about it, but are we going for the 1-10 Yone power spike at this point?
I don't know if it's that strong. It's no Yasuo, but I don't know if there's enough time in this match for him to stack up those 5 deaths. He might try his hardest.
He's on. Well, in all fairness, he would need this game. Oh, God, why am I doing math live right now? He'd need this game to go to 34 minutes in order to get to the 10 deaths, which would be well above the average for the Seawolves. So I think you slam the under on that in-game parlay.
Yeah, I mean, Stony Brook is just so good at converting these mid-games. Even though they've had some troublesome early games throughout the season, their mid-game play has been so strong compared to all of their opponents that I don't know if 34 minutes might be asking a lot.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about, because we all have those friends that do sports betting.
Yeah.
Like to an unnecessary extent.
Yeah.
I want to know if anyone does that on collegiate esports. I want to meet the guy that wants to do that with their life. I think he'd be fun to hang out with.
Yeah, that sounds like an interesting personality, being able to say, I'm betting on Stony Brook Esports League of Legends.
Betting on the plus-minus of Tempest in the game. Oh, he just needs one more solo kill, and I hit for 5K.
Honestly, that might be put towards that Wolfie wallet. I don't know if
Hell
they'll...
yeah.
That's a parlay I would take, honestly.
Paying college tuition through Stony Brook sports betting.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
In this economy?
Listen. It sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's like that.
I know.
Seawolves still looking to close this game out below 25 minutes, and the play is going to be onto Renata Glass, and that's a lot of CC, and that's a dead support.
Yeah, I mean, not much you can do. Kog'Maw being forced to back up towards his base. He's kind of just sitting there, tail between his legs.
Yeah, I don't exactly, to be completely honest, I think it was disrespectful stepping that far up. I know it's absurd to say 18 minutes, you're at your T2 and you think you're fine, but you're really not.
No, I mean, that's what the power of this comp. Sejuani Ultimate, the Ash Arrow, they can come from basically any angle if you're not paying attention.
And they can come from Fog of War
Oh.
very, very easily.
Yeah, Sejuani has such good terrain mobility that it could come from behind you. I've seen it happen in professional games, Sejuani looping around behind and catching you under your own tower. Not much you can do about that if you're Renata.
No.
You say, okay, we go next.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, you can't go next, and at least into next week's series is what you can go next into, but right now, DePaul, they ain't playing with house money. They have to win this game. The Seawolves are the ones who are already up 1-0. And Aeroliners, he's 1-5. He doesn't really care. He's just going to keep running forward. And Tempest, hey, here might come that last solo kill that you need. Looking for the ultimate forward. Mystic is going to die easy as you like. Won't be a 1v1 because Sejuani and the Soraka were there in the end, but Aeroliners is going to continue this action with a little bit of a trade onto Jamas, looking for the CC to find the kill, and he gets it. Redemption in the top side for Aeroliners.
I mean, that's what you want to see if you're a Stony Brook fan. You want to see that Yone come in. We saw that there are, even in items, even though he's died 5 times, you would think that Jax would be farther ahead, but unfortunately that's just not the case. Sejuani not even dying. They're pulling out the Skarner ult, the Skarner ult, the Renata ult. So many things are happening right now on my screen. There's so much we could talk about. The Soraka ult coming out.
It's the healing in it, just does not die, and Step Aside might look for a couple auto attacks above this wall, and it will dash forward as well, fearless as ever, just saying, heal me up, Keetong, I'm going to keep going forward, and they're on to the tier 3 in the mid lane as there's 2 members down for the Blue Demons.
I wish I could pilot Ashe this good. I mean, Ashe is one of my favorite AD carries, one of your favorite AD carries. I wish we could play like this.
I absolutely, I mean, hey, I might be on the team if I was playing like that.
True, I mean, but where would I have you on my commentary if I was talking about this by
that
myself?
is also very true.
I'd be your biggest fan.
Thank you. Yamas flashing in for a second, but he's not going to want any part of this team fight right after he does that. Bailout not going to do much, and Stony Brook are going to kill him yet again. I think that was maybe, what, 5 seconds after the death timer expired?
Yeah, honestly, it's looking like a wash up. 11,000 gold in 20 minutes.
Dylan, we're missing the 20-minute Baron.
There are bigger things in sight right now. Skarner coming through.
They don't really need it as they're taking the second inhibitor. Now, Baron is a game mechanic in order for them to take the base, but what's the point of the purple worm if you've already taken the base? Keetong low to going down, but he's not going to. Mystic, will die again. Tempest using that ultimate to get a little bit of mobility going forward, looking for the kill onto Titanium Hawk. He is able to kite back enough forward. Now Yone trying its best to close that gap. Aeroliner's just barely not able to find it. And the Seawolves will reset with 2 inhibitors taken at 21 minutes.
And being the bot side inhibitors, being forced to send Kog'Maw, not the greatest at dealing with these super minions this early on. I mean, he has the Blade of the Ruined King. That certainly helps to shred the super minions' health bar. But there's not much wave clear on this team. The Vex is down, so it's all Jax, it's all Kog'Maw, and it's very hard for them to even think about contesting this Baron. They might try it anyway, but I don't know if this will work out for them.
I mean, hey, at this point, you have to have a desperation play because you're past the point of saying, hey guys, let's sit back and let's try to scale up and let's try to get this Kog'Maw to a point where it can 1v9 the entire game. You have to hope for some miraculous team fight in order to delay the game. And they're not even in a position to do that right now because they have to clear the super minions, and that's so hard to do at 21 minutes. A Kog'Maw who only has 1 item, a Jax that has 1 2/3 of an item, they really can't do anything, and Stony Brook will take the Baron because of it, instantly pinging up onto the top side, so they will look for the triple inhib before they push for the Nexus itself.
And honestly, that's just how dominant Stony Brook's been recently for them to use Baron as an exit objective. But looking into the top side jungle right now, the Ashe Arrow coming out, catching out the Renata. The heal is just not enough.
And Stony Brook will just pounce. They keep going forward. They find 3 kills. Make it 2 right now because Mystic does get out of it for the time being. And listen, I said triple inhib. They're still going for it. They're clinical. They're surgical about the closure of this game. And it will be in it going into the mid lane to buff up those minions to get it going a little bit further. The Void Mites doing their part as well. 3 grubs on the game, so obviously they do have those little Void Mites going to attack the turret. And you're at the Nexus Towers at 23 minutes, trying to close it out a couple minutes earlier than we saw last game. And here comes the engage. Arrowliner's forward, gets 3 people with his ultimate. Backing up after that as he doesn't have any follow-up from his team right now. The healing coming out from Soraka is absolutely massive as well. First Nexus Tower falls, and they're looking for the second one as well. Stony Brook, they don't even have to reset. The Soraka is like the base healing all in and of itself right now. And the minions are flooding in.
Yeah, and if I'm the Blue Devils right now, the Blue Demons, sorry, I'm looking right now, I'm saying, okay, I'm Jax, I'm going in right now.
And Jax will do exactly that. Doesn't matter too much. 2-man fear onto the top laner and the mid laner for the Seawolves, but they continue to go forward. It's an absolute wipe across your scene as everyone on everyone on DePaul will fall. It's a triple kill for Arrowliners. He's somehow positive in this game at 6-5 and 6 after falling down 1 and 4. And that will be the second Nexus to fall. Stony Brook claiming this series 2-0. And Dylan, that means there's only one thing left for us to do, and that means I will step aside for an interview with Step Aside, and that is how we will close out this stream. Stick around for that interview, and make sure to follow all of the SBU Esports. That's all I got for you for the rest of the day.
everyone, welcome back to Stony Brook University Esports. I'm here today with Step Aside. I mean, it's a pleasure to speak with you, especially after that dominating performance. The first thing I have to ask you is, how are you feeling coming out of this game? I mean, you looked great on these lower economy 80 carries. How is it?
Hi everyone, I'm Andy, and thank you, Dylan, for interviewing me. I think the first game it was pretty rough because I think we underestimated the presence of their jungle, and we
Yeah.
got caught many times during lane. And then I also underestimated their tower dive ability and got me like started with the O3.
Mhm.
But then Aatrox came in, which is Aaron.
Yeah.
He helped us like turn the game, and everything went smoothly
Yeah, I mean, you
afterwards.
guys looked great. I mean, the Jin Karma was looking strong early on. You guys are doing what you had to do, and then even playing the weak side, Ash Soraka, you guys played that pretty well. Aside from dying a few times early on, I mean, it was looking like business as usual for Stony Brook. How do you think working with Kitong as your support helps push your laning?
Um, with the presence of Keaton this semester, I actually become so much better thanks to him. He taught me everything, including like wave management and then what to do against like different matchups and stuff.
Y- Total. I
And
mean, you guys look great together. I mean, it's always fun watching you guys every time it pans bot. I see you guys just like absolutely stomping them under tower. It's like a little smile on my face every time.
yeah, but I guess I played two supportive like AD carries this game. It was Ash and Jin. The first game, I feel like I didn't do much, even though Karma did more damage than me as Jin. But in the second game, I thought I didn't have much confidence.